welcome to Cyclone InCYders. I'm Taylor Mankle along with Rachel Given here as we're going to talk some Cyclone athletics. We've got Iowa State Gymnastics, we've got some Iowa State tennis, and Iowa State football along with your other headlines in the show today. And we're going to start off with gymnastics. Now, Rachel, you were able to travel with the gymnastics teams to Lincoln, Nebraska for the regionals.
Yes.
Give us a recap, some of the things that stuck out from this.
Well, in Lincoln, Nebraska, there is absolutely nothing to do there.
True.
So I did a lot of gymnastics. I made a lot of videos. So let's see. LSU came back on fire immediately which is expected. They're the number 2 team in the country. Boise State was kind of a hidden contender, I'd say. Even though they've been ranked pretty much all season, they came back and kind of fought, especially on vault and beam. But for the Cyclones, Megan Sievers and Kelsey Paz, some of the Cyclones that never kind of mess up and they always have strong meets, they kind of, both of them fell first immediately on the beam on their first event, which kind of sunk. But Sievers came back and earned a 9.85 on her vault, and then Paz came back to redeem herself with a 9.825, which were the 2 highest scores of the team for that event. So. And
starting off with those tough falls, did that really kind of set the tone for Iowa State, or were they able to battle back and still compete?
It kind of set an iffy tone off of the coaches, definitely. They were a little bit worried, but I mean, for their first event, and they had a bye after that, so they got to a little break and a mental breakdown, and then they came back and on the vault, and obviously had an awesome vault. So I think that kind of set the tone and told them that they could still be in it, especially being so far behind after that first event.
For sure. And then one Cyclone really performed very well at the regionals. Haley Young qualifying for nationals. Talk about her performance in Lincoln.
Well, she also didn't really have a hot meet. She had a little balance checks on the beam, and her bars was the thing that kind of set her apart from the rest. Her bars were the one who secured her nationals bid. But otherwise, I think she kind of led the team, and she fixed herself mentally and physically on all of her events that she performed, and she made everybody pretty proud, it seemed like, when they announced that she was there. The whole team kind of exploded, I'd say, for their teammate.
Was it surprising to see her make that with her performance out there?
A little bit. She was on the edge in the middle of the meet watching LSU and all the other teams, which obviously advanced, but for some of the non-advancing teams, she was on the bubble, and it was her bars routine that really set her over the edge and secured it.
And now, what does she need to do moving forward towards the nationals? What does she need to improve, at least from her performance in Lincoln at the regionals, if she wants to potentially try to medal?
I'd say she doesn't really have much to improve at all. She can bring the confidence, she can bring the flair that she needs on some of the ones that need some of that extra spaz in her. She has the smile, she has everything she needs. She just needs to put it all together at once, which I think is what was extremely lacking in Lincoln.
Sure. So Haley Young's season continues, but the rest of the team season concludes. Kind of recap this season. What were some of the highs and maybe where Iowa State kind of let down in some aspects?
As I say, the freshmen kind of let them down a little bit. Cassandra Diaz, she kind of led the freshmen on beam and the floor, but she kind of fell off a little bit towards the end. And Megan Sievers had a hot streak last year as a freshman. She kind of fell off at the beginning of the season, but now she's on her way back up, especially in vault, which is what she went to nationals for last year. Kelsey Paz, she's the team captain. I don't think she's ever had a bad moment, and she's been doing a lot of all-arounds. But she introduced her double layout again this time at regionals, which I was kind of shocked about because she hasn't practiced it since I think the second or third meet of the season. But she reintroduced it. She got a 9.775, which I don't think is too terrible. So I think if she can keep up some of those elite passes, she could really be a serious contender next year.
For sure, and that's one thing right there that you mentioned. Next year, no one's leaving from this Cyclone squad. So what are the expectations going into next season?
Well, I definitely think head coach Jay Ronayne is really expecting those freshmen to step up. I mean, there's 3 of them, and 2 of them really competed this year. So I think they need to step up, bring in the new freshmen, and tell them how it's going to be. They have a mental game. They know what to work on, and that they saw that they can get to regionals after a slump last year of not making it. But I think that now that they know they can make it there, it's just what they need to do to be a serious contender there.
And obviously you've got Haley Young coming back. You've got Kelsey Paz coming back. They will be seniors this upcoming year. They'll try to lead the team. But outside of those 2 seniors, who do you look in particular to have a good individual year next season?
Cassandra Diaz, she's a freshman. She did beam and floor a lot for the Cyclones this year. She has some balance checks a lot on beam, so I think if she just cleans up her beam routine, she could be a serious contender for them.
Okay, perfect. And that is Iowa State Gymnastics. We're going to take a look now where Ben Olson was on Sunday. He was in Urbandale covering Iowa State tennis as they hosted Texas. We'll take a look at his recap.
On Sunday, the Iowa State tennis team squared off against the Texas Longhorns here at Lifetime Fitness in Urbandale. The number 21 ranked Texas Longhorns defeated Iowa State 4-0. The Cyclones have now dropped 4 straight matches and are 1-4 in Big 12 play, with an overall record of 15-6. Despite a strong start by Iowa State in doubles play, the Longhorn pair of Roldan and Weglin was able to defeat Regina Espandola and Aaron Freeman 6-2, while Texas's Granick and Turati defeated Maddie Cancini and Sammy Budai 6-0. Those victories helped the Longhorns claim the doubles point. In singles play, Sammy Budai dropped her first set 3-6 before fighting back to lead 5-2 in the second set, while Maddie Cancini dropped her first set 2-6 but led 5-4 in the second set. However, neither of those singles matches finished as the Longhorns were able to capture the win by defeating Regina Espandola, Annabella Bonadonna, and Rita Timakova.
I mean, I felt we played pretty well. I have to give it to Texas. They came out, they were very disciplined, they played super smart, and we were a couple points short of getting a couple more victories than we did. So I mean, that's not on us. That was something that they came out and took it away from us, and we just started a little bit slow. We gave them a little too much respect, and I feel like if we could have started a little bit better, it would have been a different match.
In a bright spot for the Cyclones, Sammy Budai needs just 2 wins to be second in Cyclone history in overall career victories. The Cyclones' next match is against the Red Hot Raiders of Texas Tech and will be played on Friday at 3 p.m. in Lubbock, Texas. For ISU TV, I'm Ben Olson.
So I wanted to let you all know kind of the festivities that will be happening in addition to the game because they are plentiful. They've got a size locker room sale that will be going Jack Trice Stadium. That stretches from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They will also have the Cyclone Experience, which is for all the kids out there. It's got a lot of inflatables, face painting, some games that will be inside Jack Trice Stadium in the Jacobson Plaza on the East Concourse of Jack Trice Stadium. That will be from 12:30 to 2:30. Doors open of Jack Trice at noon. And then they've got the Cyclone Gridiron Club tailgate. $10 admissions to be a part of the food, be a part of the action there. That goes from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. That's on the north side of the Jacobson building. And then, of course, Cyclone Market will be going on again this year, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., just along Tent Row in the north parking lots in between Jack Trice Stadium and Hilton Coliseum. All kinds of stuff in addition to the game that is at 2 p.m. You can tune into that game on KURE Sports. That'll be on the Sportscast. Go to KURE885.org/sports to hear myself and Michael Mainzer call all the action from the spring game. And, of course, other headlines in Cyclone athletics as we wrap things up here on Cyclone InCYders. Softball, they head to Nebraska as they will have a doubleheader tomorrow against the Cornhuskers. That will be a chance to bounce back after a tough weekend in Norman, Oklahoma against the Sooners, losing that series 0-3. And obviously, if you've been around Cyclone athletics, you've heard the different headlines of Iowa State wrestling getting their assistants officially in. Zadik, Metcalf, and St. John all hired as the 3 assistants for Iowa State's new head coach in Kevin Dresser. They will start work and start running as they just had their first presser today. Men's golf just took home the W today at the Seattle University Red Hawk Invitational, beating out the likes of Northwestern, the second team victory for the men's golf team this season. Congrats to the Cyclones there on taking home another trophy. And then, of course, the 4x4 relays highlighted the weekend for the track and field team with a W there at the Stanford Invitational. They will compete later on this week. And that's all your Cyclone headlines. Thanks to Rachel Given and our fantastic crew here at ISU TV for all the help tonight. And I'm Taylor Mankle wishing you all a peaceful good night.